Let's make a fondant fancy for this week's Great British Bake Off Technical Challenge.
And don't forget your ABCs.
What?
Always bring cake.
Hello you, it's Great British Bake Off season and it's the first week of Bake Off. Welcome to my Technical Bake Challenge series. We're going to be doing the Fondant Fancies. Now, I'm waiting for the text to come through to give me the instructions and the ingredients for this week's Bake Off. I just got the message right now. I'm quite excited for this. Here's the message. I'm going to leave it on the screen right now. So it says, welcome to another year of Bake Off. I hope you're feeling ready because we start with an interesting challenge. Don't panic. Use your baking intuition and it's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. You're baking 9 perfect raspberry almond fondant fancies. No recipes today. Here are the ingredients. You have 2 hours and 10 minutes. Get set, bake.
I've never made one of these before. First time for everything.
Okay, cool. Right, so I'm gonna leave all the ingredient measurements down below, but there's gonna be no recipe because you guys are gonna have to do the exact same at home. Now for today's one, it's Fondant Fancies. And the one thing that comes to mind with Fondant Fancies is the Mr. Kipling's French. This is the French. Yeah, the French fancies. This is what comes to mind when it says Fondant Fancies. It has the same little bump, but I don't think these have any flavor. Like, I don't really like these anyway, but...
There's one thing that I really, really hope it's not, a fondant fancy.
They don't have any almond or raspberry. It's just the cream filling with the fondant, I think. Starting with the batter, so this is a typical sponge ratio, so it's 1 to 1 to 1 of butter, sugar and flour. I'm going to give this a really good whisk until the butter's nice and cream and light, and then I'll add the eggs into the mix. So I've started the recipe. What I don't understand, how does this tiny thing, this tiny cute perfect little cake morsel of a bite thing have so much sugar in it? Like, I've gone through 4 different types of sugar in this whole recipe, and I'm just going to look at the recipe again because that worries me. There's caster sugar, jam sugar, icing sugar and fondant icing sugar. So in one thing, it's a complete rainbow of diabetes in one bite. That is crazy. Now that I know how much sugar goes in it, I don't know if I want to even eat it, but it does look really delicious. But that's crazy. I genuinely think we need to reconsider whether we need that much sugar for one tiny dessert. Wow. I'm going to focus on the jam for a bit now. So I've added frozen raspberry to a pan with the jam sugar. Now you can use fresh raspberry as well. You want it to simmer on low heat for around about 4 to 5 minutes. If it's frozen, it's probably around about 5 to 6 or 7 minutes really, and what you want is the fruit to basically disintegrate and become a really nice runny consistency. Now leave it to the side to cool down. The pectin and sugar should also thicken it up on its own, and we're going to focus on the batter. I've added the egg and the almond essence to the batter. Now the cream, sugar and butter should be very nice and light and not a magnolia colour. I left this aside. It did split the batter, a little bit annoying, but the flour should fix it up, and I've added the flour a tablespoon at a time. Typically this will fix the batter as well, I hope. Now there is no raising agent here, so the whisking is really important, and I do recommend sifting the flour if you're whisking by hand. This is the bit where you get the most volume for the cake, so give it a good 5 or 10 minute whisk. Okay, so I'm currently mixing the batter right now, and I don't know where the almond essence go. It's 1.5 teaspoon of almond essence, and I have no idea if it goes into the sponge or the buttercream or the icing. Now I feel like for the icing, because it's so pink, the ideal placement would be the raspberry flavoring. Raspberry flavoring is also another thing. Like, I've never seen it in the store, so when it was added on the ingredient list and I had to order it, it took 2 days to come from Amazon. So if you guys are gonna make this, make sure you have flavoring, make sure you order the raspberry flavorings beforehand. I don't know what the proportions of the essence is, and I don't know if it's one of those tricks, so I'm just gonna put it all into the cake, so that at least it's like almondy cake, but it reminds me of what we made last year. So I think it's like the Battenberg cake, where it's like almond flavored cake, and then the icing's a different flavor with a buttercream. This is what the recipe reminds me of. So I'm a little bit worried, but at the same time, I'm not sure what I need to do. But yeah, just keep in tune. Adding the batter to the cake tin. Now this is a 5 centimeter deep tin, as instructed by the recipe. I'm going to basically make sure that the batter is completely flat, because in turn, essentially the fancies should be nice and level and even, and they wanted it identical. Into the oven for 180 for around about 25 minutes. It's a slow bake. Do watch it, it will burn. My one did slightly. Now the buttercream is fairly straightforward. It's just the powdered sugar and the butter. I didn't add anything. I didn't even add vanilla or the almond essence or raspberry. I didn't really know what was meant to be added in this point, and because the measurement was so off, I'm pretty sure I meant to add some of the almond essence into this. Quick tap and the cake falls out after 5 minutes rest, and honestly that bottom looks so good. It's perfectly golden brown, and that's exactly what you want. And what I did find that it had to be a 9 perfect fondant fancies. So I got the ruler out as if I was at school, and I measured it up and cut it into perfectly 9 squares. I don't know at this point whether you need to round off the top or you need to like shape it, because obviously the fondants are quite round, but I left it as it is because it's still perfect. Okay, time to punch some holes into the cake. This bit threw me off. Reason being is French Fancies has no jam filling. All it has is that weird hump on the back, which is basically buttercream. So this jam filling bit is really interesting, and I also think I messed up on the jam, just because the jam is very lumpy because of the seeds. I don't know whether I need to filter the seeds out of the jam, but I'm going to leave it in because I just feel like it looks prettier. I might be wrong, so I'm going to check the recipes after just to make sure, because I'm so unsure right now. Anyway, I'm so thirsty. The timer is going so quickly, and I don't understand like like if you didn't have people to help you or assist you, 2 hours and 10 minutes feels a little bit short of time, but we've done worse, and I think it's been crazier before. I just don't know why they're setting such a hard challenge on day 1 or like week 1 of Bake Off, but they're expecting a lot, so I assume there's a reason for it. Surprisingly, the buttercream came out quite thick. I'm quite like glad it did, but the consistency is a little bit off, so this did scare me for a bit. My first attempt of crumb coating didn't go so well, and I may have given in. Yeah, it's too thick. Even if I try and spread this. Yeah, without breaking the cake, there's no way. We're gonna have to just go with it. Moving on, we're going to ignore that, and we're going to move on to piping the buttercream on top of each of the sponge. Now this was really satisfying. I don't know why. Normally piping is like my worst enemy, but today it was exceptional. I created basically identical lumps on each of the squares, and then we're going to move on to the fondant icing. Stirred in the 6 tablespoons of water to like a large volume of sugar and created a nice consistency. I saved around about 100 grams of it so that we can create the white swirls on top of the squares, and then we're going to add the ingredients. So this is the raspberry essence or flavoring. It's not as strong, but it tastes like the candy you normally get at a party. Now, the food colouring. This was a little bit unexpected, I'm not going to lie. Oh. That is bad. Oh, please. Is that too much? Is that too much? Oh, we might lucky. Oh, it looks like blood. Thankfully, it turned out okay, and the colour was consistently okay, but this looked like I was waxing someone, like an esthetician. But I've just poured it on. This process just felt crazy to me, because although like it looked like it was covering, at the same time, I had no grill to like filter through. Better off. I just want to try this too. I literally just want to try this. I just better off. Just dunking the whole thing. As you can see, this process worked really well. but some of the cake was left behind in the sugar, and that wasn't good. So I went back to the previous technique and just hoped that spooning it on would create the cover that I need. It's such a mess. It looks disastrous, and I felt like at this point, especially with 10 minutes to go, I gave up. Crumb coating with the fondant. I'm not gonna like this year. I have a feeling already. That was really hard. And I don't think I'm done. Look at this. Oh, I'm gonna hate this year so much, I think. This has not been very easy. Why would you set this as the first challenge? No proportions, no nothing. Oh, if this doesn't look disgusting. This is on Halloween, we're in September. And I've got to deal with this. I don't know how to even dispose this. Oh, I sound like I've killed someone. I haven't killed someone, I meant the icing. I meant this, I meant the icing. God, and it's all over me as well. No, look. Oh no. Oh, I hate this so much. I hate icing. You're propped on that. We're done. The timer's up. The cake's set. I've literally put it in the fridge to set. I am so stressed right now. I can't explain to you how stressed I am because the fondant was a little bit runny and therefore it was a mess. I hate fondant, I always have, but I've never hated it more now. However, I want to show you guys the bake. I'm actually really proud of this because I think it's one of the most toughest things like I've started with this challenge. Now, don't get me wrong, making pastries is tough, but this has been tough because I don't know what to expect and the recipe really left very little to desire for. But that's the difference. This is my version for this week, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm pretty proud of it. There's no, by the way, I couldn't find like any cupcake holder to hold this, but here it is. I wanna show you guys the cross section. I'm pretty proud of it. It looks good. I know I've gone wrong in a couple of places. Not to mention the fondant ice cream, because right now I'm so passionately confused and upset by it. I just genuinely hate it, okay? But it does look kind of good. The cream is a little bit dense, so it's kind of pushed one side to it, but it's not too bad. The cross section is not too bad. The jam filling filled the hole, and then they have a little like cap. I think the other side looks a bit more pretty. Yeah, it does. So it's not too bad. It's a little bit topsy-turvy, wonky, but it's an indication of how old this kind of thing is. It's so intricate, so sweet, so sugary. And then this is what it looks like. I want to show you the inside. The inside of this is like left very bare, and there's nothing exciting about it really, let's be honest with you. That's a comparison between the two. It's not too bad, it's not too crazy. I just think my one looks better because of the jam, but also because of like how creamy my buttercream is. But genuinely, it looks nothing, you know. There's no point really comparing to this because they're two different things, but it's all right. The icing is really thin. I already know that's the first problem, but let's take a bite. Whoa, that's sweet. My jaws. I think my attempt is a good 7 out of 10. For effort, 7 out of 10. Technical skill, 5 out of 10. Let's get into where I went wrong. Okay, 1, I forgot to sieve out the seeds of the jam so that the raspberry seeds are still sitting in it, so it's a bit like crunchy. It's a texture thing, I don't care for it. 2, I did crumb coat, and that's why the icing probably kind of went funny, and it's also like, it didn't hold the cake, if that makes sense, and the cake is not smooth like the way the French fancies are. 3, I forgot to thicken or add less water to the fondant icing. I hate fondant icing. I was just gonna draw that line there. So the almond essence is wrong as well. So the ratio is 1 teaspoon into the cake batter and 1/2 teaspoon into the buttercream. Anyway, so 5 things went wrong. So I think as a technical skill, I'm gonna give myself 5 out of 10. It would have been better if it was something else because I really don't like this particular dessert. I think it's truly, truly sweet. But but the look of it and the actual display of skills of like assembling it, I still give myself a little credit. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you've tried this recipe, if French Fancies or Fondant Fancies is a nostalgic or favorite dessert. I don't know anyone who likes this, so I'm so intrigued as to who would go out and buy this. But Mr. Kipling clearly sells. It's like Mrs. Betty or something. They clearly sell out. I'm confused, but they're clearly popular in some household. As always, I'm going to leave all the information and the ingredients and measurements down below. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm going to love you and leave you.